What's going on, Jerome? So, yes, this month is going to be all about the draft. This month is going to be all about the quarterback. And as the Vikings are looking for their first future franchise quarterback in the draft since, I don't know, Teddy 2014, Christian Ponder 2011, all that stuff, the Vikings, they're set up pretty nicely. And you got to give Kwesi and Kevin O'Connell a lot of props for that. They built up the culture, they built up the rooster and the infrastructure to really support a rookie quarterback. And frankly, if whatever jabroni ends up in purple, if they don't work out, it's not really on the team. Maybe. But also, you get to work with this guy. You get to work with Smiley playing gray t-shirt. Hey there, Delilah. That's right, Kevin O'Connell. I'm back on KOC, man. I know last year was rough with the 0-3, 1-4, and giving away. Now very close games that the Vikings could have, should have, would have won, and they sort of like inverse tanked down the stretch. They tried to win, but they didn't. But Minnesota is a great spot to land, and I adore that the national media jabroni haircuts, as well as some NFL GMs, anonymous GMs, are starting to feel that as well. So over on Insider Coverage, Yahoo Sports, Jason Fitz, the fantastic Jory Epstein, as well as the legend Charles Robinson. So Robinson was talking to a nameless, faceless GM, and he was basically saying, hey, which rookie quarterback is going to be the best of the group? And the GM sort of went down a primrose path for the Vikings. Quote, this is the GM. Who's going to Minnesota? And then Robinson, you're going in with offensive-minded head coach. Again, where is it? Hey there, Delilah. Nailed it. O'Connell in that scheme has gotten Kirk Cousins to a point where arguably he was playing the best football of his life. And I feel like that's been a slept-on aspect about things, where Kurt, I mean, he was whatever in Washington. He was whatever with John DeFilippo and then the Kubiai and whatnot. But, I mean, the last 2 years, like, Kirk Cousins has played some phenomenal football, and I don't think that Kevin O'Connell gets enough credit for that. And I know, like, we're hard on Kevin O'Connell because we want to see more, and you know, he's the tall McVay and all that stuff, but getting Kurt's head out of his arse and parlaying into that 4-year, $180 million deal with the Falcons, okay. Okay. Robinson continues. The surrounding pieces in terms of what's available, you have a tight end in TJ Hawkinson. You have two very legitimate wide receivers. It's sort of a very soft way of saying that, hey, you're the best wide receiver doing the NFL, notably with wide receiver one in the league, Jordan Addison. Yeah, too legitimate to quit. And running back, you figured that out on the fly. I don't think anyone's freaking out about the running back position. You do have Aaron Jones, Ty Chandler, so that's going to be good to go there. You have an element of setup there for success, and by the way, you have a bridge quarterback in place in Sam Darnold, so there's no pressure to start right away and potentially check yourself before you wreck yourself. The landing spot here matters. I think the fact that the top 3 picks are all defensive-minded head coaches could potentially be a negative for all the quarterbacks taken in the top 3 picks. You're dealing with a defensive-minded head coach. You have an OC that has success. How long before that OC goes out the door? Or how well does the head coach work with the OC? How does the OC work with the quarterback? And I feel like that's a factor that hasn't really been talked about a lot, where the built-in inherent advantage of having a head coach who is offensive-minded and generally calls plays is that the connection with the quarterback, if it works, is going to be together a long time. Whereas if you're a defensive-minded head coach and your OC and your head coach, and your quarterback work well together, that OC is going to get a head coaching job, and he's going to be gone. And the prime example is what Robinson alluded to, is that Josh Allen and Brian Daboll with the Bills. Sean McDermott, defensive-minded head coach. Daboll and Josh Allen rocked things out, and then Daboll went to the Giants, and I mean, Ken Dorsey came in and he got fired, and it's just sort of been a work in progress with Josh Allen, even though he was in the thick THICC of the MVP race this last season. But, up in 1, Poles, Eberflus, defensive-minded guy. 2, commies, Peters, as well as Dan Quinn, a defensive-minded guy, but respect. DQ worked very well with Matt Ryan when he was with the Falcons. Of course, that was more Shanahan, except for 28-3. Then with the Patriots, yes, you do have like de facto GM Elliott Wolf, as well as Gerard Mayo, defensive-minded head coach in year 1, by the way. So is that going to work out, even though the Patriots are the poster child for defensive-minded head coach working out with a quarterback with Belichick and Tom Brady? Although I feel like Belichick was just a universal coach. Like he could talk, he could talk the wallpaper off the walls, talk about special teams, man. That's exactly it. So, yeah, the top 3 picks, I mean, it could be a bit of a struggle. Also, Chicago, I know that on paper, on purpose, that they've loaded things up, but Chicago, just the place where quarterbacks go to die. And Washington is always seemingly up against it, even though they have loaded up on some veterans. Like, can the whole be better than the sum of its parts at this stage? As well as the Patriots are a ways away, and they definitely need help at multiple spots. So a rookie quarterback coming in there, and yes, they do have Brissett in. They do have Brissett with the Patriots, so maybe he doesn't have to start right away. But I think that's adding up to be a spot where it doesn't quite work out. So I think that the Vikings having that offensive mind head coach is a thing that's slept on. And also, I mean, Sons of Anarchy. I mean, win, play, show, 1, 2, 3. Jefferson, Addison, Hockenson. Is that the best receiving trio in the National Football League? It's got to be up there, especially once Hockenson gets back to the height of his powers. Also, like we said, offensive-minded head coach, and one who's a former NFL quarterback, so he knows what's going on in the minds of the QB, and I think that really does help him out. I think that really helped him in Los Angeles with Matthew Stafford when they won the Super Bowl in Stafford's first year out in La La Land. I think that certainly helped his connection with Kirk Cousins. Like, hey, I've been there, done that. I understand. I feel your pain. I think that's what he's doing. McCown is a quarterback's coach. Josh McCown, well-regarded, well-renowned as a QB mind, going back to his time with the Jets and Darnold. I don't count the Carolina year last year against him, especially since it's very well documented that McCown wanted Stroud. So there you go. Darius and O'Neal bookend tackles. Now, yes, it is a little bit soft, marshmallowy in the middle, but hopefully they'll suture things up there. Flores is building a monster on defense, and that's certainly a good defense, a good running game are the best friends for a rookie quarterback. Well, that used to be it. So maybe now it's a good defense and great receivers is the best friend for a rookie quarterback. Darnold as that bridge quarterback. Didn't list it, but you do have Aaron Jones and Ty Chandler in at running back. Also, no immediate pressure. Like, this isn't a spot where the Vikings are on the cusp or the way that people think they're on the cusp. I mean, 6.5 wins is the total. But if you come in and succeed, if you win the job from Darnold, I mean, could you go C.J. Stroud on the bit? Yes, I think you could and should. Indoor stadium, which obviously benefits quarterbacks. Stable ownership, where, I mean, the Wolves aren't trying to get on the radio saying, like, hey, we signed Tony Casillas. So they hire good people and they let them do their job. Now, maybe they're a little bit too hands-off because I feel like, the Spielman and Zimmer experiment drug on for like 2 years longer than I probably should have, but also, salary cap future is very, very bright. And yes, the same thing with the Commies, same thing with the Bears, and same thing with the Patriots as well. But, I mean, this team has done a very good job over the last couple of offseasons, shedding some veteran contracts and really going after it. And so they will be able to build an absolute bully and monster around this rookie quarterback. And for the next 3 years, like, if he wins the job, again, Darnold, for all the reasons why it's a good spot for the rookie, it's a great spot for Sam Darnold too. So don't sleep on that. But I think that things are going to work out. And, of course, Addison and Jefferson. You get to be best friends with Jordan Addison and Justin Friggin Jefferson. I mean, come on, let's go. Also, this guy's smiling all the time. All the time, man. But your thoughts are thoughts. An anonymous, alleged NFL GM says that the best landing spot for a rookie quarterback is... who's going to Minnesota? Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skol, production value.